to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams, and this is another one of our end of season player reviews. We'll be doing a lot of these out on the channel, so keep an eye out. Yours truly will be popping on your YouTube channel and your YouTube homepage very often with these. So make sure you go check them out, get involved, and comment down below as well. I do enjoy reading your comments, and football's a game of opinions at the end of the day, and the more opinions, the better. I do like reading and listening to your opinions. Today's is on Tom Davies. A little bit tough to do, I know, because he's been out for most of the season. I think he's registered 6 games with us, one of them being the end of the season game against Arsenal. I was quite surprised at that, in all honesty. But we will go through it because, like I said, I believe he has 6 games under his belt for us this season. And it'll be interesting to see how he did on them. So he's got 6 in the Premier League. Started 2 of them, so the rest have been subs appearances. He's played 235 minutes, got 1 goal, 1 yellow card, expected goals of 0.8. Goals inside the box 1, right-footed 1. He does have that United game early on in the season where there was a should he have shot? Would we have won that game if he'd shot? Debate as well to throw in. 81 passes as well this season, 3 dribbles attempted, 2 of them were successful, 3 tackles, 1 of them successful, 8 clearances and 2 interceptions, 1. So a bit hard because there's not, like I said, there's not a lot to talk about in terms of the 6 games. I think it's interesting that his stats are typical Tom Davies. What type of midfielder is he? Is he a ball carrying midfielder? The stats would suggest no. Is he a defensive midfielder? The stats would suggest no. Is he a deep lying playmaker? Well, the stats would again suggest no. It's tough to pin. I think that's maybe Tom Davies' problem at Everton. It's tough to pin down what he is. He can dribble well with the ball. I've seen him do it. I really like Tom Davies as well. This isn't Tom Davies, slander. I think he seems like a really lovely guy as well. The type of fella you'd happily go for a beer with or whatever. He gets the club, loves the club, local lad, so you want him to do well as well. I just think he's had so many managers sticking in so many different roles that and because he's so young as well, he was so young, he's still 23. He's been in the side since 2016, so he's been in this squad. He's played a lot of games under a lot of managers, a lot of different systems. And I think that does slightly hinder because you're like, well, what is Tom Davies? And every manager that comes in tries something new with him. So I think that does sort of hinder him, but he's a young lad. There's still plenty of time. Interestingly enough, he does now have Frank Lampard, who is one of probably the best English centre midfielder I've ever seen. He's certainly the best of my generation. He's better than Scholes and he's better than Gerrard. Which might be controversial depending on who you ask, but for me, the amount of goals he got a season, Lampard's just the best. So maybe that gets a bit more of a box-to-box out of Tom Davies. We'll have to wait and see. But looking at the stats for this season, he played against Huddersfield. He had a good game against Huddersfield. Had a good game against Watford in that 5-2 defeat. He got his goal. I thought he was good up until then. Played Tottenham. 0-0 draw in November, and then obviously got his injury and then missed a lot of it, and then came back for the Arsenal game, got 78 minutes under his belt against Arsenal. That's pretty good for a fella who's just come back from a quite serious injury. Looking at his stats for that Arsenal game as well, I don't think anyone in this Arsenal game can really shout from the rooftops. He had 64% accurate passes, 50% dribbles, 1 block, 5 clearances, 2 headed clearances, 5 recoveries, and was only dribbled past once. He only committed 2 fouls as well. Overall, it wasn't an awful game. Again, those stats suggest what the seasonal stats suggest. What type of player is he? I'm hoping under Frank Lampard he will develop now. 23, it's not too late to kick on and become a player. And I really do want him to do well. I know a couple of people write him off. I'm not one of them. I really do hope we stick with him under Frank Lampard. I think Frank Lampard might be his last chance saloon in terms of we need to see some progression now. I know Ancelotti quite liked him, and I know Marco Silva was keen on him, so he must have something about him, because maybe not so much Silva, but Ancelotti's a world-class manager. If he sees something in you, you must have it. But that's my season review for Tom Davies. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below any of your thoughts on what I've spoke about. What type of player do you think Tom Davies is deep down? What do you think he's best suited as? What do you rate the 6 games he's played at? And how do you think Frank Lampard's going to help develop him as a player? I think it could be really interesting how he goes forward. If Frank Lampard can turn him into a quarter of the box-to-box midfielder Frank Lampard was in his playing day, we'd have a great player on our hands. But that's all I've got time for today, guys. And I'll see you very, very soon.